From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is Midday Weather.
Hey folks, good afternoon and welcome to your live weather at noon with me, your host, Chase Wilson. Today, Taylor Plott is out today, so I'll have him covered also at 2 p.m. Fred Gossage will be with you as regular this evening. Of course, I'll have you through this weekend. Taking a look at conditions right now, some patchy fair weather cumulus, but some of that's getting a little agitated right now in northwestern Alabama. Temperatures still in the 80s at the moment, but those dew points in the 70s definitely don't allow us to feel like that, right? We're going to have those feels-like temperatures way up in the 90s already. They'll be even higher still through this afternoon as we approach our highs, which will be near 90. In fact, if you squint, you can kind of see some showers already starting to form there off in the distance. How about across the state line? It's the same story here in Lawrenceburg. We're actually zoomed in just looking around here. A pretty nice day out there so far, though. We actually saw a shower earlier on the south side of Lawrenceburg, but that wasn't very too impactful by any stretch of the imagination. Now, we still have some ways to go as far as temperatures are concerned. We'll end up in the lower 90s today. We'll call it from 90 to 92 across most of the Tennessee Valley. Some of us a little bit warmer than that. Columbia at 94. Yeah, I can easily see that happening, but I still think the humidity is the big X factor, right? We have those very high heat index values closing in on triple digits here, so we do have that heat advisory pretty much all of our southern middle Tennessee counties, except out towards, say, east of 65. Fayetteville, for example, you're not in that, but it's still going to be very humid. Huntsville, North Alabama, you're not in that heat advisory yet either, but it would not shock me in the slightest if we do see this expanded south and east over the next few days, and I'll show you why in just a few moments. First, let's walk through today, see what we have in store. The Futurecast next 24 hours has a pretty good handle on things. You do notice that very stray shower activity, and it really has been just that. We're not talking widespread rain by any stretch of the imagination. I drove through a little sprinkle on the way here, but it wasn't even anything worth turning the windshield wipers on for, right? That's kind of what we're dealing with today. They're those lower 90s for daytime highs. As we head through this evening, we let go of those showers. We'll dry out, but it's going to be humid. It's not going to feel dry, that much is for sure. With these lower 70s and very high dew points, yeah, it's going to stay sticky out there. Mosquito weather is what I'd call it. For our Saturday, we do introduce those isolated thunderstorm chances, though, through the afternoon. Notice you do see that convection bubbling up through the day. Probably a little more widespread than today. I wouldn't say widespread as a rule. I don't think it's going to be a washout. But definitely keep an eye on, say, the weather app. Download the Tennessee Valley Weather app where you can get a notification on your phone if lightning strikes within 15 miles of your location, and you have the live interactive Viper radar, which kind of keeps you updated relative to your location. That'll be very handy on days like this, where not all of us will see rain, but there is a decent chance for some thunderstorm activity across the area. So we'll have to watch for that there. UV index outside of storms will be high, 10 or 11. Wear that sunscreen. Temperatures will be in the lower to mid 90s here, so we are warming up a little bit over the next several days. That's going to be an interesting trend to watch. Afternoon will be when we see those thunderstorms at their peak possibility and maybe intensity. Some of them could be, 30, 40 mile an hour winds, some heavy downpour, stuff like that. So as we head through the next few days, really into the end of July, first portions of August, here we go. More above average temperatures for pretty much all of the southeastern United States. Cooler than average for our north friends up there, the Midwest and the Northeast, but we're not so lucky here. We're pretty much right near the bullseye of where we'll see those hottest temperatures as we wrap up July and head into August. Let's see what that looks like here on the 7-day forecast, fresh from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We do hold isolated thunderstorms, maybe even some thunder showers through next week. I don't think it'll be necessarily one particular day of widespread rain until the end of next week. The main story for now, that warming trend. Look at that heat wave coming back in with force. We're going to see those upper 90s for daytime highs. Again, this is not heat index. This is the actual daytime temperatures. So you can only imagine if that humidity sticks around. We'll see 108, 109 for those heat index values. Yeah, that could happen if we do have those high relative humidity values. So wouldn't shock me in the slightest if we continue to see day after day after day of heat advisories, maybe even some of those heat warnings popping up across the area. Nevertheless, it doesn't really matter if you got the colors on the map indicating the warning or not. Stay hydrated, keep that sunscreen on hand, and don't overexert yourself over the next few days because it is going to be toasty out there, especially Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to start our next work week. Thanks for joining me here, folks. Of course, I'll be back with you at 2 this evening for more, this afternoon, really. And, of course, I'll be with you all weekend for fresh updates.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley